So, what is there something from last week we need to update? Maybe updates on these demos. Okay. Okay, we can, yeah. Okay, maybe we can ship. Demos? Nope, no demos. Oh, there's some chat here. Today it's Eric. And it's again Eric. Ship demo. Okay, let's start with the status while everyone is joining. 7 days ago, refactor ship context, we talked about it. Dev branch into feature branch. Refactoring of background HTTP factory. Fixed immediate issue where setup fails. Okay.
I really don't like the fact that we have to use HTTP context.current.
Pull request that we mentioned Thursday. This is to add an override on an overload on item display text so that you can customize the encoding parameter. So if you want it to be encoded, you just call it like before. If you don't want it to be encoded, you say false. For instance, if you are in, I think the issue here was a select, yes, in the select tag, you don't want it to be encoded. So menu and navigation, and this is the code, very simple. Not breaking. Then this is a fixed web config, which was also it was not a pull request, it was just a suggestion in an issue, a correct suggestion. This is
the issue here was that there was a callback in a delegate, and that delegate was also accessing some inject and dependencies, which of course were part of a lifetime scope that was already disposed when this delegate was run. So it was just lucky that there was no affected implementation that would surface this error.
It's tag cache.
why is it resolved there?
Oh, is it because of the inner scope? It's using the inner scope, that's why.
The question is no.
Yes, scope. That's what I explained, that there is a delegate, a callback because of that response capturing, I think, and that uses a work context scope, a separate work context scope now.
That's weird. So it should have happened a lot then.
No, it wasn't, because the default implementations don't use anything that's not static. So, for example, the tag cache only uses a concurrent dictionary. The default storage provider uses the HTTP cache, I think. So there was nothing that would surface this problem. If you have an implementation that accesses any other injected dependency, then this can cause an issue. Or the DB
Okay.
or anything.
19x, good choice for once. Set up background service. Okay, good, interesting. Cosmetic improvements. Okay, on the deployment creation and edit screen. Deployment. Okay. Fixing sure unknown users can spam the site service and content authorization. Content permission security. There is no more speaker. That's weird. Yes, there is when I talk. Here, found. Fixing issue. Okay, what is that? If context at user not null.
I've changed the order. So before we were always calling off to the current site dot super user, which it could inadvertently keep hitting the database. So there's no point doing that if your context.user is null. So swap checker around.
So this call the database. Oh, this can call the database sometime. Okay.
Yes.
This
so
cool.
I used your load testing tool in order to verify this. And yeah.
Yeah, but you just need to put this one first.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But the reason why I put it inside is because we're making the same call twice.
And it issues 2 queries? No way.
Well, it doesn't use 2 queries, but it's the same line. So I just put the 2 together, which made sense. And if you scroll down, yeah, see, we're just doing current site.superuser twice. So I just put it onto one line and did the comparison. The second time it would have hit the cache to get the site ID, and then it would have made a call to content manager. And I would make the assumption that it would have probably cached that. But if it hadn't, then it could have hit the database twice. And the second part is I just moved a check.
Okay, that could have gone to 19x. Non-breaking improvement.
I'll export I'll export it as a patch and apply it to 1.9 tomorrow.
Okay.
Same with this. We were getting all the roles and the settings, and then doing the authorization, whereas it just needed to go. I mean, this was just I just noticed this. It just needed to go after the authorization. There's no point getting all the roles if you're not authorized to authorized to do anything against it.
Permission. Okay.
Yeah, same. I think same with this one as well.
Okay, so you are using the content permission module. I can see.
Yeah. The first issue actually knocked my sites out.
Ooh, because of spammers?
We had a couple of bots hit the site, and it ended up knocking the sites out because it was doing content authorization checks, and that was locking up the databases, causing deadlock.
Thank you. So here, demos, let's see. Admin theme. Yes. Committers. Committers 2T, 1M, 2Ms. 3Ms. I think it's 2Ms.
2Ms, 2Ts? No?
I will say 1 to 1. Or 2
I think it's a word that doesn't really exist, but
committers.
Hey, I noticed on your GitX you had an additional change from me on top of that list that seems orphan or something. And that's really weird because I see this change from the 8th of May, but it's part of the deployment branch, and it doesn't stand out the way it does on your GitX. So that's really weird. Wondering if anybody else sees this.
I'm sure it's right.
Oh, there it is again. You have two of them actually.
No, I click on the parent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but see the same change 2 lines above. That's the same one.
Here, you must have an issue with your push.
No, I don't.
Okay, this is the commit hash. So let's look on.
You have an issue. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I have the same commit hash here, and it's perfectly integrated into the branch. Okay, so does anybody else see this? Yeah, GitHub would be a good one to have.
Zoltan is saying no.
Yeah, it's on feature deployment. Okay, there is something weird in your client.
Okay. It's no more there. It fixed itself. Okay. The Git repository maybe was in the wrong state, and okay. The repo is too big. Good, fixed. So, committers. So, Bertrand was suggesting to add George to the list of committers so he can push stuff on the deployment branch. And if everyone is okay with that, then we can do it. Is there any other candidate for having commit rights? And we are not granting commit rights for no reason or without good history with the project. I didn't see anyone else who could have it, but maybe I'm missing anyone. So if you think you should have, or you know someone who should have, I think half of the room already has. Okay, George. So, Zoltan, anything against George being committer?
No. Why would I have anything?
Because you're in the
commit to the branch and use my powers for good, not evil.
Yeah. So Bertrand is okay for that. I am okay for that. So I was asking you. Sipke is
Oh.
not here and Kurt is not here. That's why.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. We can
Okay.
always revoke, like it happened
Yes.
with Piotr.
Piotr, and also I think Stanley. At some point, I think he's still a committer. We might want to remove him actually, by the way, because he's no more active in the project. Because he found another job. So committers. So let's do that also. Remove Stanley. Just for security reason, we will be eternally in full for all his work on Orchard. And also we removed at some point, I don't remember his last name, Chris from ACL. He was committer at some point also. Remove Stanley, add George. Should we remove anyone else actually?
There are a lot of very old committers, but I don't think those were moved over to GitHub.
On GitHub, I'm not sure. On GitHub, I'm not sure. On the Codeplex, probably, but on GitHub.
Why don't we have a look at the list of users and see what we've got in there?
Where is that? I'm just thinking about where it is.
Isn't it?
Collaborators. Shell devs. This guy. But we also have all, which is a different list. I don't know why, but that's it. Same guys. Adrian, this is for documentation. But documentation is different repo. Maybe this is how we created it at the first. Okay, well, there is no one we should remove here.
Sebastian, I just realized I don't have access.
Sorry, what?
I don't have access to the GitHub repo.
You don't have access to it? You want one? You want access?
Yeah, sure. Well, I had access for the Codeplex repo, so.
Add Benedek.
Yeah, thank you.
Who else is on Codeplex that we missed actually? Yeah, sorry, I missed you. Lee equals. I don't remember who Brian Tho is. Okay, good. So that. So what? How do we write committers? Seriously. To M, yes, to T2M, let's say. Admin theme status. So we had a meeting. We had a meeting on Friday with Jasmin and Daniel. I think I saw Jasmin. I see Jasmin. And Daniel is not here. So Jasmin, please correct me if I say anything wrong, but I took notes and they saw the notes. But also Daniel sent me another I am on Skype and I didn't read it, so I don't know what he said. So what we talked about, why would we need a Bootstrap admin theme? Have better documentation using a known framework. Bootstrap is ubiquitous, okay? This way we can tell people, we can point people to some documentation on how to write good HTML. Have more options for the UI. Yes. If you don't understand what I'm saying, just let me know. Better UI is better. So, because it's well-known frameworks, all the sizes and responsiveness will be much better than what we have. And we can also benefit from the fixes that they do. Easier to adapt, yes. So if we want to change the admin theme, you can just use boot swatches or easily update a variable and change the same color everywhere, or have more consistency when you adapt the admin theme. I hear a background noise, so someone wants to say something.
Yeah, are we also going to talk about Angular at some point?
At some point. So we first actually talked about it with Daniel. The idea was, so the scope of this conversation was 1.9 something or 1.10 something. Angular will be a 2.0 thing. Like, how do we rethink the admin flow, navigation, and patterns? So this will be something more disruptive than what we want to do here. So we didn't talk about Angular, or we talked about it saying, no, it's out of scope. This is another conversation.
And especially that later we will have Angular 2.0. That's not yet possible or not stable.
Yeah, when I'm mentioning Angular, I actually mean Angular 2. I don't think it's wise to start something with Angular 1 at this point. So
yes, we didn't want to introduce a framework like Angular as part of these kind of changes.
Sure. But I don't think we need to wait for 2.0 to talk about it, not necessarily today, but
sure.
Because we already have some other frameworks such as Knockout that are used in places. And,
yes.
One thing we could talk about is replace all the other frameworks that we're using today and standardize on Angular as a first step. It doesn't mean that we have to rethink the whole UI. Sorry?
I agree. Yeah,
that's what I had to say.
Yeah. But
so we also
when do you see Angular 2 out?
Well, also the framework is.
They're saying so March 19th is the latest update they had. Apparently, they're saying that they're giving an update, but they are not.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wondered. Thanks.
It won't be before Chrome 36 or something, and we're at 32 because of the ECMAScript 6 that they're using. Anyway, so it's probably a few months away still.
So we also talked about this, that because we want to ship Bootstrap as part of the admin theme, we really need to have the scripting libraries module we talked about with Stanley a few months back.
Should we just rename the jQuery one?
Rename, I don't think we can, because we have all dependencies on that, and other modules have dependencies on that. But we can have we should apply the design we agreed on a few months back. We have it in design notes, or we can watch again the meeting, and we all agreed on how to do that and with all the pros and cons.
The reason why I'm asking is that there is already some non-jQuery stuff in the jQuery module, no?
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're all related to jQuery. Even Knockout is not in there, but yeah, Bootstrap, Angular, Knockout, all these things should be in the latest versions we support, and maybe the old ones too should be in a module that we can reference. Same thing for the admin theme.
Right, one more module.
But so that if you have an admin theme which uses Bootstrap and you also need something like this in your module, or Angular, for instance, 2 modules in Angular, there are no 2 different versions of Angular which are conflicting.
Oh, sure, definitely. There needs to be a resource somewhere for it. But
if we can then collapse jQuery there, so what we could do is put jQuery in the new module, and all the core modules use this one, and deprecate and still have it in the deprecated modules.
Yeah.
Yes. There would still be the issue with the conflicts, but yeah.
Yeah, you would need a way to make it impossible to have both active at the same time. Or, maybe not. Maybe with the dependence. No, you don't want to.
Maybe jQuery works fine with that. Maybe jQuery will work fine with that. We'll see.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so what do you say? How? First, we will use only .less files. Okay. It will have to, the admin theme will have to be backward compatible, but Bootstrap is the new default, which means every views we have in the core modules will be migrated to Bootstrap tagging.
How do we build the CSS from the less? Grant?
We haven't talked about it. You are better expert than us on that.
You can use like Web Essentials. It compiles it straight for you.
So today, what I do,
yes, but
I do that.
we have the same debate that we had about TypeScript.
Right. And I think Daniel and Emma did a script which will be in the libs file, which is today for the TypeScript.
Yeah. So
Maybe we can bundle a compiler with it.
My thinking changed a little on this.
We can have both, no, don't we?
Yeah, you can have
right.
both.
So
but Grunt is in Visual Studio by default now. So
okay, so yeah,
we could standardize on Grunt.
Yeah, we'll see on the details just how to do that, just to agree on what we want to do. So then there is a question, action, decide how to process files. So we'll have 10 different suggestions. So backwards compatible. Okay, so the goal is that any module we have in a gallery will still work, or even our modules will still work. They might be degraded with a new admin theme, but they will still work. And it will be done by having a custom CSS and JavaScript that will be a feature, okay, enabled by default, so that all the old CSS files, classes, and specific HTML, which was done before, like in today, will be converted using Mixin for CSS or using custom JavaScript, let's say shims, polyfills, so that it will convert them to Bootstrap or new tagging. And this will be a feature. So as long as you don't require those all compatibility, you can disable it if you want. Just a link to have ideas on what we can do on the admin theme. So actions. So define semantic classes when possible. So we won't use in the admin theme if possible, the technical classes. Okay, an example, something called red. This is bad. So having a class called red is bad, unless red is a concept in Orchard, but this is not. It should be like, alert color, and then we can change it. Okay, if you're familiar with Bootstrap, that makes sense. And same thing for the rest, with maybe main colon and secondary colon, and we don't define exactly the size of these columns using call 4, call 6, or whatever. Use semantic when possible, so that people can customize that easily.
We can also add here that if possible, let's use the same class names. So for example, for hints, use the same hint and stuff like that. There is no use to change that. Or messages, I think, and alert, information, warning. The basic very common classes.
So
text large, text
be,
medium, I think.
What is there is a warning also in Bootstrap. Okay. Toolbars. We can redefine how toolbars are designed. For instance, we have some examples. I think Jasmin already did that. Which example? Yes, when you are in the content page, there is a drop down. No, let's take another one. No, let's take this one. There is a drop down page. You can have a drop down with a filter. Let's say a sort order, sort by creation date, published date, title, things like that. It's a drop down, so you select the drop down, and then you have a filter button or a sort button. This pattern could be changed to a drop down button. So when you open a drop down, the click will the action. So we have some patterns like this that could be applied on a new set of toolbar rules. So this is something we can improve in the new admin. Then there is the tables, as in example, the queries page. So it's a list of content items, but just one line with columns. So we can redefine how tables are done. And here I'm just saying we need to define a pattern, some guidelines about how to create a table using the new tagging and using Bootstrap, and how the columns should be done and what styles should be applied and are applicable. So we might also give them multiple options. And we might also want to explicitly say, no, we don't want this Bootstrap style. This is not consistent with the admin theme in Orchard. So we might also want to redesign how the action columns are done. Because, for instance, on this list, which is also used everywhere in Orchard, the right column contains some action links like edit, delete, clone, lots of them. And we might want to redesign how they are done, even like still keeping some links like edit and delete, but having a drop-down list of other links, which are like right-click options, other options. They are useful, but not all the time. So we need an extra click. So this is a way to improve that. Tables. We also have the content items list to improve. This is, for instance, a content page, but we have other pages using the same pattern. The content items list, the difference with the tables is that it's flat list of blocks with the title on top left, actions on the right, and summaries on the bottom. Someone wants to say something? Just noise. So this page has to be designed to. So we still want the same information. We just need to define what will be the official tagging for that, and we agree on the how it's tagged and how it looks like in the end. And we have to take responsiveness into account and so on. But we don't want to change much of what we have today. Okay, we don't want to change the philosophy of the theme, because it has to be backward compatible too. Yes, drop down plus execute button. I talked about it, so we can refactor drop downs plus execute into drop down buttons using Bootstrap, and use a JavaScript shim to convert the old tagging to the new one. And sometimes the JavaScript can be very specific to specific pages to make them nicer by default. Or, well, most of the pages we have in core, we will be able to convert them to the new tagging. Just for the other modules on the gallery. We can also redefine how the left navigation is not behaving, but at least rewrite the tagging for the left navigation, and also maybe think if we want to improve it, like with auto collapse or I don't know, multiple levels of navigation. We can see that. But this is another part. We can also think about making a better usage of the top navigation. We mentioned the work that I think Nick or Sipke I think did 2 weeks ago, when he added, I think he added a link for the dashboard. I can't remember what, but he added something on the top navigation. We might want to make it a better place for extensibility, so that any module could extend the top navigation using shapes like we do everywhere else. Example, the search module, a search module could be able to integrate a search box in the top navigation, because now it will be extensible. So we just need to think about what we can. Yep.
So that's the filter, the admin menu filter you're referring to? When you press Control M, filter appears. Is that the
yeah, this one or any other one. I'm just saying the top navigation is just used for the logout link on the top right and the username. It's not extensible. I don't think it's extensible. Maybe it is, or at least decide what kind of elements can be put inside. If it's just a Bootstrap toolbar and let people extend it. we saw in some admin themes from this link that sometimes notifications are there, messages. You can have many things. I just want modules to be able to extend that. So your filter could be there.
I would also add here that it's the same issue, I think, with all the pop-ups. All the pop-ups use a specific document shape around the butter they have. And first, those are not extensible, not designed to be extensible. And there's the issue that we have a lot of document shapes, so a lot of places where we have all the HTML and head and everything, and they are all different. So I think we should also probably refactor that.
When you mean the pop-ups, for instance, in the media library?
Yes. And the content picker, media picker.
Layouts uses pop-ups.
Yes, Sitke also agrees because he mentioned the issue at one point when he was trying to do the same thing. I did this pattern, I think, starting with the media library and then, as you said, with the search and the content picker, or maybe the content picker was the first. But it's hard with the current implementation. So yes, maybe having a new implementation will make it simpler to support this kind of pop-ups. If we go to something like Angular or to redesign the full admin experience, we will think about navigation and pop-up like this. Today, we need that. We need a way to open another frame, another document, because we don't want to lose the state of the previous page. Okay, so we can't save the previous state page. There are some techniques, but it's easier to do a pop-up today.
I think this is fine, but just have a common frame for all the pop-ups. That's it.
A common frame for all the pop-ups.
Well,
or a common document shape that is suitable for being in.
So not a common
frame,
frame, because you might want 10 stacked frames.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean frame in the HTML sense. A common framework.
Sorry. Yeah, framework. Okay, yeah, a guideline way of doing that, and that is supported, and people can refer to an extensible.
By the way, I think that Bertrand has done something to make those pop-ups, or at least one of those, extensible. Not Bertrand, something like this.
No. So today I'm using color box. I did something using the class at the top. So when you create a pop-up, if you have a specific class, it will remove the navigation and it will. And I'm using the color box plugin.
Yeah, what you're doing, you're using CSS to hide certain aspects, and there's also a way to use a different shape, or actually add an alternate to the document shape, and then you don't even have to hide HTML elements.
Yeah, we need to think about it. Yes, and the main thing was to have a pop-up first, and second to kill to mask the navigation. And also mask the main layout so we don't see the version at the bottom. So we need a blank slate to be able to draw something.
Yeah, that's actually what the layout feature is doing. It's using the document shape, but it adds an alternate using a shape table provider, so you don't have to mask anything. It's something like that works.
This, then create script libraries. Okay, so this is all we talked about. And so Jasmin already has a module working, Bootstrap integrated, rewrote lots of views. So we agreed that first, before implementing all the views, we need to agree on what it will look like and have a basic framework with a few pages. And so we can talk about it, discuss about it, and we will have a branch also on the. Oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah, a branch on the main repository to work on that. So it's public and anyone can push that and fork it, so, which means Jasmin, so we can work on the branch. Is that what we said, Jasmin? I don't remember that we'll create a branch, not a repository. I will take that as a yes. I'm not reading the chats. If you think there is a modal framework for Bootstrap, that may be the solution, but it's not just about it. This is already the case, Philippe. Drop zone for uploads. Yes, we have that. It's beautiful. You're welcome. But the best feature in Orchard, you can drag and drop media. You didn't know that? This is the first thing that appears when you open the media. It says drag and drop anything. Philippe in charge of the design part. Sure. There is no one in charge of in Orchard. Everyone participates and has something to say. It is nicely designed. Yes, we don't want to change the navigation and the philosophy. We just want to include a framework and a guidelines way of doing that, and which makes it possible to adapt it as people want. Okay. So what did I miss? Tell me. Can we make navigation consistent, like close buttons, cancel, and back? Yes, this is why you want to do that too. Because, yeah, this is what. And also we can talk about reviving the right column. For those who don't know, Nick knows because Nick was using Orchard 0.1. Before we ship V1, Bertrand, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure of that. We had the right column, which was called the secondary zone, and we still have the secondary zone. There is a primary and secondary in the content item edit template, and the secondary today is at the bottom, and this is why you have the save and publish buttons. Yeah. But at first, it was on the right column.
It was pretty awesome, actually.
I like it too.
Why was it removed?
Because there was a meeting with designers and they decided to put it at the bottom or some manager. I don't know. I was not in the meeting.
So interesting. At one stop, they have a special style sheet that makes it fixed on the bottom, and that works pretty well.
I don't know. I have that at where I work as well. I'm using the one-stop one. I'm not so sure I like it.
Well, the thing is, when you have a very long editor page, for example, the HTML editor actually stretches to follow your content. If you have a lot of contents, it means that you have to scroll just to get to save. And sometimes scroll back up. It's painful. Yes. Yeah.
So it's funny, Philippe, when I say, does anyone have any demo to do and nobody answers? Don't put on the chat half an hour after. I have a custom admin theme built on Bootstrap material. I can show if anyone is interested. This is about the conversation. Please show us. I think we saw some tweets and some screenshots on Twitter that you showed, and people were very enthusiastic with that. So yes, please share with us. We want to see. If not reuse, we want some idea of what we can do with Orchard using that. Don't hesitate. You just unmute, share screen, and we all watch.
He doesn't have a mic. That's why he doesn't talk.
Oh. I can build one with a cup of water and 2 wires. So whenever you want to show it to us next week, Philippe, which will be awesome. If you need to find a microphone, Target. Do you have Target in Florida? Wherever you are, I can't remember. Oh, he's unmuted.
Does this one work? Does it work?
You see? Yes.
Yeah, I'm using my my iPhone headphones.
Beautiful, like everyone is doing. You want to show us now, or next week?
Sure. Yeah, if you have a minute, I'll just run through it.
Okay. Whenever you want, let me unshare. I will keep reading the comments in the meantime. Yes, Soteris is suggesting, I see Angular plus Polymer. Let's be too advanced. 2.0 for sure. Yeah, so when you say Angular, then people will come with also, why not React? Why not Knockout? Why not whatever? Personally, I like Knockout because I understand. Whenever I read some Angular code, I'm like, I'm lost.
Well, there is an easy answer to why Angular.
Because everyone is doing Angular.
Yeah, it's by
And I
far
know.
the most popular one.
Yes, I understand. And this is what scares me because oh crap, that's
I
orchard.
hate it too.
No, look at that. Are you seeing the screen I'm seeing? This is orchard? Fuck.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Yep, that's Orchard. It's very, very customized for this application. So there's a lot of stuff that's hard-coded.
Jasmin, you're fired.
Okay.
Crap. Yeah, that's
So-
nice. Well, that's just a bunch of CSS and colors on top of a Bootstrap theme. So what is custom and what is not custom? Because this thing, for instance, that you're showing, is not the
That
media
looks
library.
awesome. Oh, come on. This
Is it the media
too
library module? No, it is not.
No, that's using drop zone. That's what I mentioned in the comments. That's using drop
Oh, it's
zone
a
to do
custom.
uploads.
It's a custom plugin or what?
Yeah,
What do you
just
mean
a
by
custom
drop zone?
jQuery plugin.
Drop zone is something like a trademark thing, or is just a technique, a pattern?
It's a JavaScript library.
Okay.
So if you go to, I think it's dropzone.js is the website, or the plugin name. You can see all about it. It's pretty neat.
And why?
And then I
not
put
using
some additional
the
layout
media
here.
library. Well, so what I'm trying to understand is what is Orchard and what is not Orchard.
That's a good question. It's so blurred at this point.
Okay,
Most
because
of the
it's your custom admin. It's not even the admin of Orchard.
No, this is actually running in Orchard, but I've pretty much customized everything. So all the shapes are custom shapes, but this is actually an
Okay.
Orchard admin.
Okay. And the dashboard is our dashboard, or is your dashboard too?
This is my dashboard. Yeah.
Yeah. And
there's some API calls to do things like pull back how many users are actually on the site or how many new comments.
Yeah, you've seen
Yeah,
what Sipka has done, right? Have you seen
I don't
what
think I've seen what
Sipka?
he's done.
What? He made a dashboard module that you can customize drag and drop using the layout module.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to play with that.
And yes, what we told him also is that it could look like something like this in the end if we have custom dashboard elements. So yeah, you should use that actually.
Gotcha.
So users, click on users because it might look like something.
Sure.
And this could be a help us also design. So when you say what word did you use? You use Bootstrap and M something.
Mm-hmm. So it's a Bootstrap is kind of the JavaScript engine behind it, but it's just a theme that's applied on top of it called Material Admin.
Material Admin. So user, new user, username, email, actions.
These are all custom shapes I made, so you can come in and edit. I've scaled this down. This is to give the users very limited abilities in the admin.
So what did you customize there? Is that a custom controller, or and about the theme? Is it the admin theme but customized, or did you generate a new theme using the admin theme as the base theme?
So it's a completely standalone theme, and I'm basically using an override, a theme override. So if you're in the admin area, there's an override that tells it to use this theme instead. And there are definitely some custom controllers that are pointing you to different things. I maintain some of the default Orchard controllers to send you to pages and just customize some of the shapes.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, for us, we have to use the same controllers. You imagine what we can benefit from this demo is what it looks like first. If people like this kind of UI or not.
I don't like the color, but I do like the UI.
Yeah, and for the colors, we might not come with some default colors like this, but anyone has to be able to come up easily with like a new CSS file that they just add to their admin theme and that will customize like this way. We need to make it also extensible. or customizable. Sorry, customizable.
The template itself that I used actually comes with like 16 different colors you can use.
So the template, we have to we talk about it because there are lots of Bootstrap templates online, but they are usually not redistributable. Or we have to even, like Orchard is. It's not MIT. People can't take it and rewrite it and ship it using another name. So there are licensing issues with that. So we can't use any free theme that we found on the internet. We can look at it and find it nice, but we can't reuse that.
I think there's one that is MIT open.
There is one. Hopefully, it will be exactly what we want. But you see that, I mean, but at
so
least
we could use this as an inspiration, but we wouldn't be able to use this theme thing.
What is the on-off button you have on the top right that you click, like it remove the navigation?
Yeah.
And how does it behave? Or focus thing?
So you've got two. That's more like a lock button. So you can expand it using this over here and then contract it. Or you can lock it as being open using that.
Is it responsive if you minimize the window, that it also removes the navigation?
Let's see if this will work.
Because this is something I'm sure we want. Yes, I think we need something like this. And you can, and if you click now on the menu, ooh, nice. And if you go even further, like mobile.
I think that's about as narrow as I can go here.
Okay, and the menu shows up. All okay.
Yeah. So we go to that, everything stacks.
Does everyone agree that we need that too in the admin also to be able to be mobile compliant?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Even if we remove lots of things to show up, but at least to have a usable way to edit something, to publish an article and list elements.
Yeah, and moderate comments. Like
that. Okay.
Anyway, so just an idea, kind of, what can be done.
Yeah, so I see the navigation is not that far away from what we have, but it's already very much nicer, much more readable. So there is definitely some easy pick here for us to have the same kind of navigation. The drag and drop looks nice. Maybe we should also improve the media library to have a nice drag and drop like that. I know also Daniel suggested we should completely rewrite the media library UI, maybe.
Definitely.
Well, it's awesome already. It's better than
It is awesome.
WordPress. It's extensible and yeah, but it's a good exercise. Well, it's nice, Philippe.
Thank you.
And this is the framework you're using. Material admin. Flat. Thank you. Yeah, so this is not the solution we are looking for, but this is definitely a good inspiration on how we can do things, what we can add to the admin. What did I miss in the chat? Sorry. Blah, blah, blah. And the issue is that I'm reading it backwards, so I'm not even understanding what he said. Yeah, all our admins look like crap now, for sure. When you see that and you go back to admin, so that's why we don't want to see nice things. Okay. Yeah, so I assume Jasmin will focus primarily on the technique, how to implement that. And I don't know how good a designer you are, Jasmin. Maybe we will need some help, even from Ryan Drew Burnett, who might be able to help us on color scheme, sizes, fonts, and everything. And then we can implement that using what Jasmin will do technically, or anyone who wants to help. Am I clear? Like Jasmin can help. We already has something working, but it's the default Bootstrap theme, colors, fonts, and everything. If you want something as flashy, as nice as what Philippe has, we need also some kind of design expertise. Like, so Philippe, I assume you use the theme, so this is why you took the inspiration. Ryan Joubonnet suggested he could help on that, so maybe we could summon people like this, Philippe, Ryan, and get some Photoshops about how it should look like, and then on our side try to follow that using Bootstrap. If you think that's a plan, I think that's a plan. Because Ryan, I think, suggested he could help on that, even on the front end theme. I will ping him. Okay, good. Anything else? I will add George, Benedek, and Jasmin to the repository. Remove Stanley, which is not there yet, so that's good. Nothing to do. We talked about the admin. We saw a nice demo. Ship. I had an element called ship 191. I can start a deployment of 191 as soon as Nick has pushed back some nice additions he did on dev. I will start a 191. Okay, if everyone is okay. This is what we said. We will ship 19x more often. Good?
Yep. Am I muted?
No?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oops.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. See
you later,
on
guys.
Thursday.
Cheers, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.